In the future, unknown creatures invade Earth. Mankind fought for 57 years and was defeated. Less than 5% of the remaining humans were forced into underground fortresses. They built an army to protect the rest of humanity. None of the surviving humans have ever seen aliens, because those who have died. They built countless guard towers around their headquarters for the sake of humanity's survival. And soldiers are constantly on guard. Every 100 days rotation, the sentries cannot leave the perimeter. The main man, SU.1, is assigned to one of the guard towers. It's his first time guarding the tower. It's called Highland. The tower guard was given enough cigarettes for SU.1 and enough food. When he came to the top of the tower to take over, strangely, he did not see the previous sentry. He contacted his superiors with doubts, but received no positive response. The leader replied that he did not have to care about these details as long as he reported the work content on time every day and completed the duty task. SU.1 did not think much of it and went into duty. At first he turned the tower over, but the tower was full of military items, and the rest of his life was repetitive work. This went on and on for some time, which bored SU.1 very much. But you have to stay focused when you're bored. One day, he noticed strange noises coming from the jungle, but he went outside and found nothing unusual. He returned to the guard tower to report to his superiors. Superiors say there's nothing to worry about as long as the perimeter is normal. As time went by, SU.1 had nothing to do but do something boring. On day 13, nothing unusual was found, but there was a white rat in the tower. SU.1 talks to the mice. He told many stories about the past. The arrival of the white mice helped SU.1 ease a lot of loneliness. On the 87th day, the man was out on patrol when he spotted a humanoid monster but couldn't catch up. Back at the guard tower, he reported back to headquarters. The headquarters still calmly said that as long as the guard tower's defense rights did not alarm, it means that alien monsters did not invade. Let him not worry. SU.1 is bored and begins to search for clues to the previous centuries. He pried open the last century's locker and found a diary full of sketches. The white mouse was the last century's pet, but the more you scroll back, the weirder it gets, and the location of the other guard tower closest to him is revealed. SU.1, who had been lonely for so many days, decided to go to the guard tower next door and talk to the soldiers there. But when he stepped out of range, the foot electrocution was triggered. The defensive perimeter of the guard tower is also a boundary for the sentries, and the headquarters does not allow soldiers to leave the work area. This made SU.1 so anxious that he returned to the guard tower. Suddenly the power went out on the tower, and when he turned around and saw the humanoid monster again, SU.1 was so frightened that he grabbed his gun and rushed out. But after firing several flares, there was no sign of the humanoid monster. Headquarters sent a signal corps to inspect the circuitry, and SU.1 urgently asked him about the previous century and asked him to open the old surveillance footage. Apparently the correspondent knew this was out of order and refused SU.1. SU.1 did not intend to press him again, but raised his gun and told the messenger to disable the system. He wanted to see what had happened to the previous century. When SU.1 was not looking, the messenger attacked him, but was quickly overpowered by SU.1. The correspondent informed SU.1 that he was a former frontline combatant. Their troops suffer heavy casualties, and alien monsters are not only huge, but also attack with sound waves. Human ears bleed when monsters approach. SU.1 thought he was lying and put him in the dark room. The man reviewed the video and saw that the previous century had had a nervous breakdown because he was so lonely. SU.1 thinks that his predecessor never encountered a monster, and that monsters don't exist. This must be a conspiracy at headquarters, and SU.1 is becoming more and more convinced of his ideas. To prove himself right, he slept in the wilderness at night without any equipment. In the middle of the night, SU.1 is awakened by a nearby movement and sees the monster he encountered earlier. SU.1 was not afraid at all, picked up the antlers and killed the humanoid monster. He found a soldier's identity tattoo on the back of the monster's neck. SU.1 realized that the monster was the previous century who had gone mad. He was even more convinced of his own judgment, that the alien monsters were all lies. By monster, HQ must mean all the sentries who went crazy. Crazy sentry also because cannot walk out of the warning circle, so has been staying near the guard tower. Headquarters must have what hidden conspiracy. This was all to prevent the survivors from wandering around, and the headquarters deliberately made up the alien thing. SU.1 disabled the alarm system and left the patrol area. He walked through a forest to the next guard tower, intending to tell the sentinels that there were no monsters. When he went to the guard tower next door and looked for it, he found only the body of the sentry. Just as he was wondering, his ears also began to bleed, which conscripted the words of the courier. Human ears bleed when monsters are around. After the pain, he went to the window of the guard tower and found the drones in action. It turns out that the monster is real, everything is real, and it is he who sabotages the security system that causes the monster to invade. This shocked Iwan, and he became very frightened. He picked up the guard's gun and ran into his tower without looking back. He hid in the basement and didn't make a sound, but the monster found him easily. The guard tower's defensive ring had been destroyed, and the monster easily broke into the guard tower and won in one bite. Due to the failure of this lookout, the alien monster broke through the last line of defense of mankind, resulting in the survival of the surviving humans. The movie ends here. Loneliness can really make you lose yourself. No companions, just mechanical conversation. Life without temperature, the lack of warmth for a long time. Even if it is strong, it will lose hope for life. Then there are self-doubts, doubts about human exploitation, doubts about their own life. These feelings were exacerbated when he accidentally killed his only friend, a white rat. Fear creates insecurity, and more insecurity fear panic. People are like this. When they fall into a blind spot, they will be extremely persistent about what they think is the truth, have been immersed in their own reasons for their own creation, until the redemption.